A narcissist can masterfully craft a confession that looks and sounds like an apology, but when you listen and observe more closely, there is no apology. You may have the trappings of an apology, but no substance of one. In this video, I'm going to discuss the dynamics of what goes on in a narcissist's mind and 5 crafty ways in which they will try to make you think that they're sorry when they actually aren't. I will also share tips on what you can say in response when you encounter a crafty apology. And I will at the end be sharing the elements that must be present in an apology for it to be genuine. So let me share first about the narcissist dilemma. When you leave a narcissist or end a relationship with one because you've had enough of their abuse, their disrespect, their devaluing, and all the drama they bring into the relationship, it can really turn their world upside down. Instead of the narcissist holding the reins of control, now it's you. And the narcissist cannot stand that. They cannot stand not being the one in control. So when you decide to leave them and they're no longer in control of the relationship and they no longer have all the benefits that you brought to the table, it can really cause them a lot of distress. A narcissist may be in a lot of pain because you ended a relationship with them, but it's not for the reasons you may think. They may be in pain because they feel like a failure, because their world got disrupted, because they no longer have access to certain comforts or benefits. It has very little to do with the pain that they actually caused you. And that pain that a narcissist is going through could be enough of a motivation for them to humble themselves and apologize to you for the wrongs they have committed. So when a narcissist apologizes to you, does that mean that they have taken a turn for the better? Well, even though miracles do and can happen with God, the likelihood of a narcissist changing their stripes is very low. So all that being said, how can you tell if an apology is real or fake? So I'm going to get into the 5 crafty ways in which a narcissist may apologize to make you think that their apology is real when it isn't. This is not an exhaustive list, but some of the major ways. So now let's get into it. Number 1, they might say to you, "I'm sorry you felt that way when I did XYZ." In this example, you can hear an apology, but when you listen closely, the narcissist is not apologizing for their wrongful behavior or taking ownership. They're sorry that you felt bad about what they did, but they don't feel bad about what they did wrong. If someone apologizes that way to you, I would recommend you say something along the lines of, "I appreciate your acknowledgement of how I felt, but it's important for me to hear an apology where you take responsibility for the actions themselves. I believe it's crucial to address the specific behavior that caused the issue rather than focusing solely on my reaction. Can we discuss that specific behavior and its impact on our relationship?" When you confront the situation this way, it brings the narcissist back to the main issue, because what the narcissist did in that apology was to subtly gaslight you by framing the situation in a way where the issue was about your hurt reaction rather than their wrongful behavior. Now, you may not be taking notes as you listen to this video, but if you would like a copy of the types of responses you can say to the narcissist when they use any of these deceptive kinds of apologies, and be reminded of what elements are needed for an apology to be true and authentic, I have included a link to access the document in the description box below. Number 2, here's the second type of apology. It's when the narcissist says, "I'm sorry," in an exasperated, irritated, dismissive kind of way after you have called them out on their behavior and wanted to process the hurtful impact that it had on you or the betrayal that you felt. When a person apologizes this way, it's obvious that their apology is not a sincere, heartfelt one, but rather a catchphrase they use to shut down the conversation when you are expressing your anger or hurt and wanting to process, or you're struggling with the depth of betrayal. Why do narcissists apologize in this dismissive and insincere manner? For one, narcissists struggle with empathy, which makes it difficult for them to genuinely understand or care about the emotions and experiences of others. Their apology might be more about managing the situation than truly understanding your feelings. Narcissists also thrive on maintaining control and avoiding vulnerability. Offering a quick and dismissive apology can be a tactic to deflect from looking inward at deeper issues and shutting down the conversation, and also maintaining a sense of dominance. If you find yourself hearing this kind of apology, one thing you could say is, I hear your apology, but it seems like there's more to discuss regarding the impact of the situation on me. I'm looking for a deeper understanding and resolution rather than a quick apology. It's important to me that we can have an open and honest conversation about what happened and how we can move forward. Can we take some time to talk about this more thoroughly? Now, if my content has been helpful to you so far, consider subscribing to my channel where I put out content on a regular basis to empower you to navigate toxic relationships in your life from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So let's move on to the third apology. I'm sorry I did ABC, but you did XYZ. This is a classic maneuver where the narcissist uses the apology as a segue to air out their grievances and engage in blame shifting. Instead of genuinely apologizing, they use this tactic to manipulate the narrative. It allows them to divert attention from their own wrongdoing and shift the focus onto all the perceived wrongs they believe that they've endured. By turning the apology into an opportunity to express their own perceived victimhood, they avoid taking full responsibility for their actions. This tactic also serves to confuse and disorient the other person and make it harder for them to address the initial issue. Also, it reinforces the narcissist's need to be seen as the victim to protect their fragile self-image and deflect any potential criticism. If you find yourself faced with this type of apology, remember that the narcissist is using it as a diversion tactic. So what you can do is bring the focus back to the specific behavior that led you to the problem. So you could respond with something like, I hear your concerns, but let's focus on resolving the issue at hand. I appreciate your perspective, but it's important for us to first address the specific behavior that led to the problem. Can we discuss that before delving into other issues? When you do this, it redirects the conversation back to the initial wrongdoing and prevents the narcissist from using the apology as a means to blame shift and avoid accountability. So let's move on to the fourth apology. It's where the narcissist says, I'm sorry, I really messed up, or I blew up, but they're not specific about how they messed up or blew up. This is a tactic where the narcissist offers a general apology without specifying the actions for which they are apologizing. They might admit fault in a vague manner, acknowledging that they wronged you, or they sinned, or they messed up, without delving into the specific details of their wrongdoing. Narcissists often struggle to remember or acknowledge the specifics of their actions, as their memories tend to be highly selective. While they can recall in detail any perceived offenses against them, remembering and owning up to their own mistakes becomes a challenge. By using vague language like I messed up without offering details, they create ambiguity around the apology, and this ambiguity allows them to maintain a sense of control and prevents them from being held accountable for their individual actions. It also serves to downplay the severity of their behavior or what they did wrong and make it challenging for the other person to address it and to resolve the specific issues at hand. If you're faced with this type of apology, it's important to seek clarification. You could respond by saying, I appreciate your acknowledgement, but can you help me understand specifically what you believe you messed up on or blew it on? Let's discuss the details so we can work towards the clear resolution. This approach encourages the narcissist to be specific about their actions and prevent them from using generic apologies as a means to gloss over the real issues. The fifth apology, love bombing. This is where there's no apology, just acts of kindness. In this tactic, the narcissist avoids a direct apology, but attempts to win you back through excessive displays of kindness, generosity, or love bombing. They might shower you with gifts, favors, or acts of goodwill. While it may seem like they feel remorseful, these actions serve as a way to deflect from the need to apologize genuinely. It operates, I feel, like a form of bribery in a sense, where the narcissist hopes that by your acceptance of their gifts or gestures, that these things will serve as a substitute for a sincere apology or a commitment to change. Or it's a distraction to get your emotions focused on the kind gestures or gifts and away from the difficult emotions of feeling hurt or betrayed by the narcissist's wrongful behaviors. Why do narcissists use this tactic? Instead of addressing the specific issues at hand, they attempt to pacify you with positive gestures. Accepting these gifts without holding them accountable can inadvertently make you complicit in their behavior. Narcissists also care deeply about their self-image, and facing the repercussions of their wrongful actions is a big threat to their image. So, love bombing becomes a means for them to restore and reinforce their perception of themselves that they are a caring and loving person. When a narcissist is confronted on a serious wrongdoing, the confrontation can trigger their deep-seated fear of abandonment. So a narcissist will use love bombing to create emotional ties and dependency with the person calling them out to make it challenging for them to distance themselves from the narcissist. A narcissist might experience a loss of power when they are being faced with being called out, so love bombing enables them to manipulate dynamics and helps to position them once more as the one who's in charge, as the one who's influencing the narrative. So how can you respond to this? You might say something along the lines of, "Thank you for the gestures and affection. I appreciate it, but it's still important for me that we address the real issues in our relationship. While I appreciate your generosity, these acts alone don't resolve the problems, which is important to me. I need a sincere apology from you that recognizes the specific things you did wrong. Moving forward, I expect honesty, open communication, and genuine efforts for change, not just gifts or kind gestures. Can we honestly discuss our issues and work together on lasting solutions?" Now, I just shared with you 5 deceptive apologies. Let me contrast all of that with what a genuine, authentic apology looks like. A true apology involves several key elements that set it apart from the deceptive apologies used by narcissists. So here they are. Number 1, the person acknowledges their wrongdoing. In a true apology, it starts with a clear acknowledgement of the specific behavior that was wrong. There is no deflecting or blaming others. The focus is on the individual's actions. Number 2, there's empathy and understanding. As I mentioned, narcissists struggle with empathy, so it makes it difficult for them to care or understand the emotions and experience of others. In a true apology, there's a genuine understanding of the impact of the actions on the other person. The person apologizing is empathetic and responds empathetically to the emotions and the feelings of the person who was hurt. Number 3, acceptance and responsibility. In a true apology, the person takes full responsibility for their actions. There is no blame shifting or deflecting. The person does offer a sincere and unambiguous admission of fault. They're specific. That brings me to the 3rd point. Specificity and clarity. In a genuine apology, the person is specific, they detail the actions for which they are sorry about, there's clarity about what went wrong, and there's a demonstration of a deeper understanding of the situation. The 5th element, commitment to change. In a sincere apology, the person apologizing is committed to change, and it goes beyond words. They actually show their desire for personal growth and improvement. Understanding these distinctions can help a person discern between deceptive apologies and authentic remorse. In healthy relationships, true apologies contribute to building trust, to promoting more growth, to deepening a relationship. So I hope this video was helpful. And just a reminder, if you would like a copy of the types of responses you can say to the narcissist when they use these deceptive apologies against you, I've included a link to access the document in the description box below. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more content from me, click on the subscribe button and click on the bell to be notified every time I upload a video. And this brings me to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.